It's your girl Jasmine coming at you live to talk a little bit about the Lionsgate portal that's happening on the 8th of August. We're already in the portal, but it peaks on the 8th of August, and I wanted to already come on to talk a little bit about it because if we utilize this energy with intention, it is beautiful for ascension, for manifestation, and for honestly living in, thank you for joining, hello, living in alignment with our fullest power. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but first of all, I just want to say, hey, hope you guys are all well. I hope that last new moon in Leo was as much of a catalyst for rebirth and alignment with our power as it was for me, because I think what's beautiful about it is it kind of initiated the energy that we're in this portal, in terms of living in alignment with awareness of our power rather than resourcing it externally, and also just being in some really potent solar plexus energy. Thank you for joining. So yes, I'm going to talk a little bit about what this portal is. I'm sure you've heard about it, especially if you're on Astro Twitter at all. A lot of people are tweeting about Lionsgate portal. So I'll talk about actually what it is, what it feels like to be in it, because it could be sort of contradictory. You would think that being in this portal means that we're feeling really empowered and ascended, which we can be, but we also can be experiencing a lot of ascension symptoms, which is making us feel really perhaps down or chaotic, erratic, all of those things. So talk about why that is and 4 ways to work with it to align yourself with living in, honestly, just what I really think is the most valuable way to live, which is by self-resource power. So yes, the Lionsgate portal. The reason why we call it the Lionsgate portal is because it is when there is an alignment between the sun, when it's in the sign of Leo, right, its domicile sign, and Sirius, which is the brightest star. Oh, thank you for joining, my darling. Which is the brightest star in the solar system. So anytime we have some sort of alignment like that, it has everything to do with activation, with power and potential. And if we know anything about the sign of Leo, we know that it has everything to do with living the loudest version of our skin, right? To no longer dilute ourselves, and recognizing the fact that when we do dilute ourselves, it typically is us standing in the way of us. So it really is self-liberation through recognizing the fact that our power is a choice and that activation and living within it is an active choice as well. So so when we have this alignment, it started, I would say that the new moon in Leo, which was last week, was sort of the kickoff, the activation of it, but it'll peak on the 8th, right? The 8-8 portal, and it'll stay pretty potent until the 12th. So 4 ways to work with this energy at its most, intentional capacity would be to first protect your energy right now, especially because we could be feeling really lethargic. Anytime we're experiencing an ascension like this, there typically comes with it a purging. So we could be feeling we're sorry if you hear that, by the way, there's a lot going on outside, but yeah, we could be feeling misunderstood. We could be feeling there's a lot of emotions that are moving through us, and we also could be feeling really restless or tired. So now would be a beautiful time to rest as much as possible and to protect your energy when it comes to the people that you are surrounding yourself with right now, making sure that you are in environments and around people and situations. Thank you for loving my earrings. They are little moons and they have a little face on them. Thank you. Yes, and surrounding ourselves with energies that fuel ourselves rather than drain us, right? We want to make sure that we are really feeding the element of empowerment and self-empowerment. And so if there are any people that tend to disempower you or any situations that make you feel very disempowered, removing yourself from them at the very least right now would be really, really helpful, especially because we want to make sure, and this is part of it, that we're really hearing our downloads right now, our intuitive hits. If you're feeling called to perhaps shift or say something to someone or launch something, you really want to make sure that those downloads are loud and clear. And so if our energy is diluted with situations that drain us or that feel heavy or loud, we're not going to be able to hear it as clearly. So you want to make sure that you are taking care of your energy, that you're protecting your energy. And then the next thing would be, seamlessly moving into it, would be to write down your downloads. If you're getting any intuitive hits, whether it's through your dream state or just overall, if right now you're it feels really good when I do this certain thing, or that is something that I want to move towards, really writing that down and being intentional with sort of categorizing and charting the downloads that you're getting right now, because when we're in an ascension period, we're kind of being shown what the fullest potential of our lives looks like. And I feel like I've been saying the fullest potential of our lives a lot and recently, especially with my astro lives, but I think it's because astrology is a story, and everything that's been happening recently has really been the breaking down and the unbecoming of everything that has stood in the way of us standing in our own way of living in our power, right? So any limiting beliefs or any attachments. And so recognizing that the story of it is really can you love yourself enough to live in your highest possible timeline, and can you get out of your own way to do so? So writing down your downloads and writing down your intuitive hits right now would be really helpful, especially because you could be getting insight on the type of creative path or the type of relational path or just anything that will put you closer towards living in your fullest potential right now through divine orchestration. So just make sure that your vessel is clear, that your energy is clear, and if you can sort of, at least in this portal, evade using things that will maybe distract you or lower your energy, which for some people, some people respond to different kinds of medicines differently. So if plant medicine is something that will elevate you or will kind of bring you back down. So really being responsible and intentional with your energy at the very least until the 12th of August, particularly at the very least the 8th of August, making sure that that is a day that's very intentional and loud and just rooted in your power. The next thing would be to feed your manifestations. So however you manifest, thank you for joining. I think the best way to feed a manifestation is honestly to think about it as you masturbate, but that is just me. However, whether you are a visualizer, whether you write down, whether you use your words, right, so you share it within safe community, feeding your manifestations right now is going to be I can't even stress enough, this period that we're in right now, our manifestations and our sense of empowerment is going to be just so hyperactively loud. So anything that you are calling into your life, if you really, really, really want to bring it into physicality, into fruition, feeding it with extra intention this next week is going to be vital. So like I said, dancing with your manifestations, right? Visualizing them as you move your body and you work with your sacral, writing them down, visualizing it, sex magic, whatever that looks like for you. Just make sure that you are intentional with really, really feeding and putting energy into what you are calling in, and even acting as if is in essence, acting accordingly with the fruition of your manifestation. So if you know that you are calling in, a new car, then going and buying yourself the steering wheel cover that you'll have for it, or just really living already in the timeline in which what you're calling in exists for you. And lastly, doing some solar plexus work, because we're working with star energy, with sun energy, with power energy. We want to make sure that we're working with our solar plexus. So dancing, doing core work, wearing and working with the color yellow is going to be really, really helpful right now. Just making sure that you're being intentional with your solar plexus, writing down empowering affirmations. Honestly, for me, working with my solar plexus has always looked like listening to Beyonce, but now that's twice as true since Renaissance. Which, side note, I also shared some Renaissance memes. If you are into that, then check those out. But yeah, so overall, this Lionsgate portal, it happens every year. Last year's was really, really, really transformative for me, so I'm definitely going to be working with it intentionally this year as well. But it has everything to do with living in alignment with your power, getting out of your own way when it comes to living in alignment with your power, and recognizing the fact that, we want to take in this Leo energy of being the main character of our lives, and not in a way that imposes or even disempowers anyone else, but rather empowers people by the way that they view you being self-empowered, right? I think, even once again, to bring up Beyonce, but I think watching her live in her power so loudly is making all of us sort of feed off of that energy. And I think that is such a beautiful, just example of what it is like to live in that self-resource power, because you truly do light up everyone around you. So yes, live in your power by resting right now, by being really, really, really careful with your energy, where you're giving it to, who are you allowing access to, and just resting as much as possible, letting what moves through, because anytime we're in any sort of ascension portal, just lower vibrational things tend to kind of purge through. So if you're feeling I'm extra lethargic, or I'm extra emotional, or if I'm extra just feeling all over the place and erratic, that's probably the stagnant energy moving through. So you want to just let it move through. And when you feel good, move closer towards what feels good. If there's anything that you want to take away from this, it's to move closer and feed what feels good. So this means your manifestations, right? So visualize, dance with your manifestations, but also if it feels good to eat certain things, or to be around certain people, or to sing certain songs, whatever feels good, we tend to we can immerse ourselves in the energy of what feels good by becoming it when we are immersed in the activity of it, and that will sort of put you at a vibration that will invite in only more of that good frequency and that good feeling. So if it feels really good right now to go on long walks, or to dance, or to sing or to do whatever, your creative output calls you to, or to be around certain people, do as much of that as possible from now until the 12th, and particularly on the 8th, because that's going to put you out of vibration. That will invite in even more of that. And yeah, feed your manifestations, visualize right now, masturbate, manifest, that's all I'm going to say. And lastly, do some solar plexus work, some core work, some yellow. And happy Lionsgate portal. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy. I love this portal. A lot of people dispute it as not being, being a fad, an astrological fad, which, I get it, but I do think that, with the Sirius star being such a vital element to this alignment, I think it's just such a beautiful way to be really intentional with living lives that are, just drenched in self-resource power. And, And I think that this last Leo new moon was really the catalyst in us witnessing what it feels like to be in that power and how we can make an active choice to be in it. So with that being said, I'm sending you all my love. Just wanted to hop on quickly to say that. I'll probably be on for the next full moon, but otherwise, work with this energy, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.